Amelia's Antidote, Part 3. In the aftermath of the heist at the bank manager, Stephen Harris, was a changed man. The traumatic experience had left an indelible mark on his psyche. Nightmares plagued his sleep, and anxiety had become his constant companion. The once confident and composed Stephen had transformed into a shadow of his former self. Haunted by the events of that day, Stephen couldn't shake the feeling of powerlessness and vulnerability. The idea that anyone could come into his life and take what they wanted had deeply affected him. He couldn't bear the notion of being a victim, of having no control over his fate. The poison that had been injected into his world was not physical but psychological, and its effects were just as debilitating. Weeks turned into months, and Stephen's desperation to regain control grew. He became consumed by a desire to take matters into his own hands, to prove that he could seize his destiny, rather than be a passive victim of circumstances. One fateful night, his obsession drove him to an audacious decision. He had learned about the opulent estate of his rival, Victor Malone, who had orchestrated the heist and poisoned Amelia. It was Victor who had set in motion the chain of events that had brought Stephen to this point. With a newfound resolve and a sense of twisted justice, Stephen donned a dark disguise and ventured into Victor Malone's estate. He was no professional thief, but his desperation and anger fueled him. As he moved stealthily through the mansion, he encountered one obstacle after another. The mansion was a labyrinth of secrets, betrayals, and hidden treasures. Stephen's search led him to Victor's private chamber, where he discovered a locked safe concealed behind a painting. With trembling hands and a racing heart, he managed to crack the safe's code, revealing a trove of Victor's most precious possessions. Among the stolen wealth was a small vial with a label that sent shivers down Stephen's spine, Amelia. He stared at the vial, perplexed and horrified. It was the antidote to the poison that had been used to torment Amelia. The very poison that had forced her to rob the bank. It was now in Stephen's possession, and he realized the gravity of his discovery. The vial held the power to save a life, and yet, it was a cruel reminder of the tangled web of events that had brought him to this point. As he held the antidote in his hands, he couldn't help but question the choices he had made and the path he had taken. In the eerie silence of Victor Malone's estate, Stephen grappled with his own inner demons. The vial, a symbol of hope and despair, left him at a crossroads. His actions had far-reaching consequences, and the line between justice and revenge blurred. What would he do with the antidote now in his possession? And what kind of person had he become in the relentless pursuit of control and power?